All men dream, but not equally. Those who dream by night, in the dusty recesses of their minds, wake in the day to find that it was vanity. But the dreamers of the day are dangerous men, for they may act their dream with open eyes to make it possible. This I did.
Hands up.
Enjoying yourself, pal?
Oh yeah, you're a comedian.
Nice warm welcome.
They're both clean.
My apologies. One can't be too careful.
I'm guessing you're Talbot?
Mr. Sullivan and Mr. Drake.
That's right.
Do you have it?
Let's see the money first.
Cutter. It's all there. Now let's see it. I'll need to authenticate it.
Of course.
Silver, 16th century, Elizabethan design, inscribed with Sir Francis Drake's motto. Well, it appears to be genuine.
Well, of course it's genuine.
If I may ask, how did you two come into this?
Does it matter?
My client will be very pleased.
Hold on a minute. Sully, this is fake.
I assure you, Mr. Drake.
Whoa, whoa, you are right. This is phony as a $3 bill. What the hell are you trying to pull here?
Perhaps I should be asking you.
This is bullshit. Deal's off, pal.
And you? You can tell your client. You blew it. Come on, Nate, let's get the hell out of here.
You're not really in a position to negotiate. Now give me the ring, take the case, and walk out of here like gentlemen. While you still can.
Do as the man says, son.
You're a thief.
Well now, that's ironic.
All right, everybody. Hello and welcome to Uncharted 3. What is this one called? Drake's Deception. Third one in the series, you know. Obviously, got to start. Got to continue. I mean, did the first two. Got to do number 3. Well, I mean, it's all on the same disc, so I mean, I feel like I should. You know, I got to complete the Nathan Drake collection. So this one here, the combat is more or less the same for hand-to-hand. The only real difference, and you know, I gotta say, it seemed to keep the trend going, where, like, in 2, I think I said that the combat seemed a lot more bullshit than in 1, even though the story was better. I gotta say, this game keeps that trend going. Gotta say, the story in this one, still very good, if a little bit more iffy than 1 and 2 at parts. But the combat even worse somehow. So this guy here is a brute. You've come across a few of them. They're more or less, you remember in the second game, the guys who walked around with like the giant Gatling guns? It's basically them without the armor and guns. They do get guns later, and there are a couple of them that have armor. But overall, even the ones with guns, it isn't very often that they actually fire them. It's more like they have the gun just in case you decide to attempt to run away from them. Then they can still shoot you. But yeah, overall, this game, fucking, oh my god. Oh shit, come on. So as you saw, it does have environmental type kills in this one, where if you get them close to something, you can use it to kill them. So like if you get them close, like I can almost guarantee that fire extinguisher is one. The bottles are obviously one. I don't think you can put them through a table. Come on, nope, damn it. There we go. And boosh. Oh god, right. But yeah, overall the combat in this one is absolutely horrible. So if we pause it here for a second and back out, go to the trophies. Drake's Fortune, there we go. Drake's Step. As you can see, I have 90%, but I have the platinum because I finished the regular achievement, which, you know, is like the 3 of those, all the kill achievements in a row without dying, which I had to do separately, by the way. I turned the game down to easy and went through a few levels to get that one, because even on hard, I didn't manage to not die. Even when I started crushing and had the one-hit kill, still died a fuck ton. But yeah, as you can see, I beat the game on crushing. The only achievements that I'm missing are in the extended collection trophies, which is brutal, speedrun as Donut Drake in less than 4 hours, and I think it's 4.5, right? Nope, 4 hours and 15 minutes. I'm not too worried about the speedrun in this one, because I do, well, okay, I didn't really use very many speedrun strategies in crushing.
Give me a second.
But I will say they do seem to have more in this one than they did in 2. Like 2, I was really worried about the speed run because I couldn't find very many like speed run shit, like game breaking stuff, right? This one here, I haven't looked too much yet, but there does seem to be more. In fact, as soon as we get a gun, I'll show you one of them. It's a little thing that doesn't help, or it only helps in certain situations, and I can't see it helping too much in on brutal mode because of how fast you die. But I guess you could technically use it to get through sections faster that don't have enemies, you know? But they'd have to be pretty open sections to do it. And like I said, I'll show you because I can do it on any half cover. But I also need a gun. So, I don't think it matters what gun you have. But, yeah.
Get out the back.
So one cool thing about this game is it does do a little bit of... yeah, right, I forgot that you could do that. It does do a little bit, kind of. Not, well, okay. It does have a flashback moment, but it's not like in the second game where like half the game is a flashback.
Oops.
Crap. Damn it.
Come here. Typical bloody Yank. All talk. Hey. You've had enough, haven't you, mate? Don't. Stay down.
Hello, Victor.
Kate?
Still wallowing in the gutter with your protege, I see. Not very dignified for a man of your age.
Should have known you'd be behind this. Oh, careful now. Wouldn't want you to melt.
Same cocky little shit. So fearless. I wonder what you're really afraid of. Not bullets or blood or broken bones. No. You get off on all this, don't you? Cheating death. Or not.
No.
Mr. Sullivan, I won't harm your precious boy. I merely want what's mine.
Give me that back.
Cutter!
Oh, no. Oh.
Shut up!
You fool!
Oh, you're bloody welcome, Your Majesty.
Marlowe, we have to get you out of here.
Oh, come on. They're a right pair of arseholes. What?
Oh no, we've been shot. See, now this here is the flashback. It's, I think, the only it's the only flashback. There is kind of like a half flashback later, but that's different. But this here is way, way back to when Nathan Drake was just a wee lad. 20 years earlier. So, this here, which I think I brought up during the second one, I said that there is a flashback portion of this where you got to see how Nathan met Sully, which is this. Thankfully, it's the only flashback. It's interesting, right? It's not like, because the flashbacks in the first one weren't like not interesting. You can also go up to all these display cases and it'll tell you what's in them. Like this one here is a model depicting the sacking of Cartaga or whatever. And you can also bring up your journal, Little Boy Drake journal. Drake ship, the Golden Hind, his motto, all of this and that, right? All the research he's done. But yeah, you're Nathan Drake as a little kid. He's already treasure hunting. He's got to be like 12 or so here, which would make him like 32.
Maybe upstairs.
In this game, which I guess, isn't bad. But yeah, pretty much everybody makes it. The one person who I thought would make an appearance in here, based off of the Let's Play I watched of 4, Nadine, does not. Just the way that it played out in 4, it seemed like he may have met her before. But she's not in this game. She's obviously not in the other ones. Oh wow, look at this guy. I never saw this one before. That one looks weird. I think just because like its head is like tilted down a little bit. But this here is what we're for. But yeah, Chloe's in it. Elena's in it. Surprise, surprise. And obviously Sully's in it. They don't introduce too many new characters in this one though. Because like the first one, obviously everybody was new. The second one, they introduced Chloe. And Dickhead Who Betrays You. This one here, though, I guess they introduced like one new character, but never saw him in 4, so I don't know how much. Well, I guess he might show up in Lost Legacy. I never saw a full playthrough of that. I only saw like the first hour or so of it. But there is Sully 20 years ago. Based on how Sully looks now and the fact that this is 20 years ago, I'd say that he's probably about 30 here. Although, when you think about what he does, like how he keeps up with Nathan as a 50-year-old, that would be fucking impressive. So yeah, Nate, still treasure hunter, still obsessed with Francis Drake. And so I don't know what that is, right? Like, he just shoved that in there and wiggled it. And you would expect that it was like a little bit soft or something to maybe figure out what, like, to go and get it cut or something to figure out what you needed to cut it as, but it doesn't, like, it didn't seem to be any different when he pulled it out, so. Unless he was just checking to make sure it was, like, the right size key, but, I mean, I don't know. So yeah, I don't know, they don't explain why they threw him out of there. Like, they just kind of throw him out of the museum for no apparent reason. Like, I don't understand why they would throw him out. Like, they don't, like, there's nothing said. He hadn't seemed to have done anything. They just get him and it's like, you, get the fuck out, kid, and threw him out. Like, I don't get it. Which, to be fair, there's a few things in here that I don't get. Yeah. But, I mean, overall, it's not... they still have the same cover system from 1. It works just as well as it always did. And by that, I mean, to turn the outside corner on cover, press left towards the cover and hold circle. But I can't. I think it's because I never remember to hold circle. Might be the thing. Like, I never fucking remember that. I always just turn, like, I just push towards it and hit tap circle, which just pulls him out of cover. So maybe, who knows? Maybe you'll actually see me take corners properly in this one. Yeah, so when he picked up that apple, it looked like there was like a huge soft spot on it. Like, it was weird. But yeah, overall, I would say that these games have gotten worse as they went along gameplay-wise, but somehow gotten better story-wise. Which is an odd thing, you know? Most games, you know, degrade both or improve both. Or, you know, they'll improve gameplay but lessen the story. Very few games that I can think of, as in none off the top of my head, can I think of where, like, the gameplay got worse as the series went on, but the story got better. Most of the time, it's the gameplay got better, but the story took a hit, or they both improved, or they both got shit. Like, it is a weird occurrence for me. So the reason that is like, in 1, right, all the enemies were, you know, they took some hits. I mean, they weren't, like, when you got up on the higher difficulties, unless you got headshots, they were pretty bullet spongy. In 2, they made it worse because there was more enemies, it seemed. Actually, you know what? I take that back. There didn't really seem to be any more enemies in, oh, right, it went the wrong way. In 2 than there was in 1. But they added enemies with, like, they added, like, the armored guys, right? Like, that was the main thing. Is, like, when you're on brutal with it, and you got, like, the armored guys, it was like, oh my god, die already. Because you had to bust through their armor first, right? And then they had the heavy guys, which weren't as bad as they should have been. Like, I'll admit that, like, the heavy guys with, like, the Gatling guns, they weren't nearly as hard as you would assume. Like, the little dudes with the armor were a lot harder than the big guys with armor. And look at, the cop is still after him for some reason. I don't understand it. This one here, though, they just throw way too many enemies at you. Like, they have the same enemies as 2, except that the big guys with the Gatling guns aren't in this one in the same way. There is a similar enemy type to those guys, but they're not the same. Like, they are definitely not the same enemy. And jump. There we go. In this game, you only fight them, I want to say, twice. That enemy type. The first time is fucking enragingly difficult. The second time, I don't know. The second time I made it through on, oh yeah, he's up there. I made it through on hard and didn't even realize that the guy was there, or that it was that enemy type. And then I made it through on crushing, which obviously I had the cheat code on for or whatever, so fuck it. But I mean, he still wasn't hurt. But, like, I think those are the only 2 in the entire game, which is good, because if they put more of them in, they're fucking bullshit enemies. And I figured out more or less how to get rid of the first one, but obviously that works better with the one-hit kill on, which I'm obviously not going to do. Although I will say that around the halfway point, so when I beat this game the first time on hard, right, I did it in 3 goes. The first go, I think I made it to number like 15, or chapter like 15 or something. And there's like 22, I think it is in this game. and I made it to 15 on my first play, and I fucking loved it. Like, I was done playing, I'm like, man, if I didn't have to whatever the fuck I had to go and do when I shut it off, right? It's like I would continue playing the fuck out of this. I was so happy with it. The next time, I beat like 5 chapters, which if you've played Uncharted, that's not a lot.
Don't try to run.
Like, these games aren't very long. That's why, like, the speedrun achievements are like 4 hours and 15 minutes, you know?
Don't call me that.
Parents must be worried about you.
Yeah, not likely.
Okay, sore subject. That was a nice lift back there. You're pretty good.
I don't know what you're talking about, old man.
Hey, don't call me that. Your technique is really sloppy, though. You're telegraphing all your moves.
You're crazy.
Yeah? You've been tailing me all over town. Probably figured me for an easy mark. But you picked the wrong guy, pal.
What?
My wallet. Fine. Maybe we'll just call the police.
Go ahead. Of course, they might wonder why a middle-aged tourist is following young boys down alleyways.
You are a crafty little beggar, aren't you?
I know how to take care of myself. Anyway, I'm pretty sure you don't like the cops any more than I do.
Good point. Kid. The wallet.
Had to try.
Of course you did.
Telegraphing all my moves, huh? All right. Museum's closed.
All right. I like how I got the key. So yeah, like I was saying, the combat in this one, so like in 2, they had bullshit enemies, and it was bad at points, but for the most part, everybody came at you head on, right? Like, I can't really remember very many. I can't remember any currently. I'm sure there was some where you had guys coming up behind you in like okay, well I can think of 1 or 2 times now. It's coming, you know, where there's like guys that would spawn behind you. But in this game, every fucking fight, like you get into like a huge gunfight, you got like 10 guys in front of you, they're gonna spawn like 4 guys behind you as well. It's absolutely retarded the amount of guys that get sent at you in this one. Like I can't, like, it's just so fucking annoying how many guys get sent at you in this one, and it's so bullshit. I died so often just from straight bullshit. Like when you have cheat codes, right? Like obviously if you have invincibility and you die, something's wrong, but they don't have that in this one. But if you have 1-hit kills in a game like this, in a shooter, and you still die like as much as I did, something is wrong with the game. Like you have infinite ammo, you have 1-shot kills. You still have to reload, obviously. But I mean, it takes 1 bullet to take everyone down, unless you use a shotgun. I will say that. In this game here, there's a weird bug. It might be because I'm playing on an unpatched version. But when you turn on 1-hit kill tweaks, shotguns turn into 0 damage.
Little stray that made off with your wallet.
Come on, son. You haven't got a chance. Just hand it over.
Now, the ring.
What ring?
Catherine!
Who do you think you are, boy? You're nothing but a filthy, cast-off little beggar. You're not fit to touch these objects.
What the hell do you think you're doing? He's just a kid.
Stop him!
Yeah, so Kate there, right fucking bitch, man. Like, Jesus Christ. This section here, I will say, for some, that happens sometimes. That's still a consistent thing that happens in these games, which is every once in a while, especially in sequences like this where you don't really have control over the camera, you will get fucked by stuff like that, like he'll grab and jump onto the wrong thing or something. But I will say, like, these sequences here, just like in the first two, you know, there's a couple of them. I will say this one here, they seem to have done them a lot better for the higher difficulties. Like, this one here, I did fail at a couple times on my first playthrough, and I think I failed it once on my crushing playthrough. But there's a couple of the other ones where I failed it a couple... Oh god, right now they're shooting at me. But yeah, where I died a couple times on these on hard, and then I got to crushing, and I did it in the, like, first go. But I think the reason... What just... Oh, because the thing collapsed, it started my jump. Right. Because this game does have the thing where, like, when you first step off a ledge, you still have, like, a moment to jump. And so I think what happened there is I stepped off the ledge, got the moment, but then, you know, even though I jumped, it still counted as me failing, which is why the camera didn't follow me. But yeah, they did seem to do a little bit better with these sections, because I remember them being super fucking... Fuck you. Like, super fucking annoying in the first two. Oh my god, kid. Climb. So yeah, like I said, shit like that still happens. Because they, especially that one right there, they fucking start you on a corner. So if you just run straight, it automatically fucks you up. But yeah, like, there's sections later that are significantly harder than this. Like this one here, there's times where you get caught. Fucking clobbers that guy. Like that, I got caught here once because I tried to run around the front of the TV, and when the guy does that thing where, like, he jumps towards it, he fucking jumped and blocked me perfectly. But overall, I feel like they did these sequences a lot better in this one than they did in the first two. I didn't die nearly as often in them. There was never one, like, in particular where I was like, Jesus Christ, how the fuck are you supposed to do this? This one here, when I died, it's like, yeah, I see exactly where I went wrong. It's like, I know what I did. Like, that right there, if you keep running forward, you're caught. You can get a little bit further, but, like, the next, like, thick part of the railing, if you don't jump there, then you're fucked.
What we have here.
Whoops. You all right? What are you shaking for? Just close your eyes. This won't hurt a bit. Come on. You're okay, kid. Relax, kid. We're safe here. Go on. Suit yourself. You don't want it.
What do you want from me?
A little gratitude would be nice. I did just save your ass back there.
Thanks. But what's in it for you? I mean, you're a crook, right? You gotta have an angle.
You are one piece of work, kid. What's your story, anyway?
Look, mister. No offense, but I don't even know you.
Easily remedied. Victor Sullivan. This should be the part where you introduce yourself. Okay. Suppose you tell me what's so special about that ring.
It belongs in my family. I'm just taking it back.
Passed down from Francis Drake himself.
That's right.
I don't know how to break this to you, kid, but Drake didn't have any heirs. No children.
Well, not with his wife back in England, anyway.
Okay, good point. Let me see it. Come on, kid. If I was gonna take it from you, I would have done it by now. Thank you. So, what is this? Parvis
Sic Parvis Magna. It means greatness from small beginnings. That was his motto.
Yeah?
You see, Queen Elizabeth gave it to him in 1581, when he got back to England after circumnavigating the globe. That's when she made him a knight.
Well, you sure as hell didn't learn that on the streets. How's a kid your age know Latin?
The nuns sort of insisted on it.
So, like a boarding school?
It's a nice word for it.
Okay, then. So what was all that business with the ring and that astrolabe thing back there?
Why don't you tell me? You're the one working for him.
Look, kid. The client wants something, I obtain it. For a price. I don't ask any questions. It's just a job.
Look pretty friendly to me.
Yeah, well... Anyway. I'm pretty sure I'm fired.
Okay, look. First of all, that was no astrolabe. It's some sort of decoding device. Check this out. On his way around the world, Drake sailed through the East Indies. Only he says that it took him 6 months to get from here to here.
Yeah, so?
So it doesn't add up. He was way too good a sailor for that. It would have taken him a month, tops. He was hiding something. Something big.
How big?
Like secret mission from the Queen big. Like millions in plundered treasure that hasn't ever been recovered big.
That big?
That big.
And that decoder has something to do with it?
I would bet my life on it.
Oh, swell. And Marlowe's got it.
Won't do her much good without the key.
So it's a stalemate, then?
For now.
So you still haven't told me what your name is?
And you still haven't told me what you want from me.
Okay. Look, you got talent, but you got a lot to learn. You stick with me, and I'll teach you a few things.
Thanks. But I'm doing just fine on my own.
Yeah, clearly. What do you say we try this again? My friends call me Sully.
Nathan Drake. Nate.
Drake, huh? Okay. I see great things in our future, kid. Great things.
They're gone. All right, lads?
Oh, God. Bet you were gonna put a silencer on that thing.
Sully, you got no sense of drama.
Right. All right. All that racket's gonna bring the cops any minute. Let's get the hell out of here.
Could have pulled a couple of those punches, Charlie.
What do you mean? I hardly touched you.
You headbutted me.
All right, all right. I got a little swept up in the moment. You were the one who said make it look realistic.
Better stay on his good side.
All right, Broadice, look sharp. They're coming your way. Don't lose them.
Told you they'd take the bait.
How long do you reckon before they realize this is a fake?
Who cares? Finally flushed them out.
And now we just follow him back to their hole.
You do realize you make everything sound dirty.
You do?
Let's get moving.
Hurry it up, Nate.
So yeah, this here is, I think his first name is John Cutter. I could be wrong about that. I'm sure that we'll learn it soon enough. But yeah, he's more or less the only new character.
Come on, Charlie, what's
I mean, obviously the bad guys are all new. You know, the bad guys fucking never make it through an Uncharted game. Just like they never really make it through any video game. But this is the new guy for this game. The only, yeah, he's the only new guy that, or the only person on your side anyway,
It's blocked.
that hasn't been in the previous ones. And like I said, I know he's not in 4 that I can remember.
Oh. There's a thought.
I don't know about the Lost Legacy though, because like I said, I only saw the first hour of that. It didn't really seem to leave a lot to
Move this thing over.
introduce characters. But, you know, Uncharted games do generally travel around, right?
Help. Come on. Move your lazy
Like the
asses.
first one, there was a lot of time spent on the one section. Like the second, like half of the game is all in like the same general area. But, you know, they still travel around quite a bit.
You should be more careful with your heads, you know it.
Evening, lads.
All right, darling.
Looks like hell spit you two back out.
That was a thing of beauty, Chloe.
I went off without a hitch.
You're unusually quiet. What's up your bum?
Oh, well, Charlie seemed to enjoy himself a little bit too much for my
There we
taste.
go.
But
Oh,
here's a story.
Charlie.
Oh, for God's sake.
Helps if you have something in between. Oh, looks like I missed out on some fun.
Yeah, you did, actually. It was very, very cathartic.
It's funny.
Do you have any trouble?
Easy peasy.
And you're sure they didn't see you trailing him?
Not a chance.
So, which door's scary pop inside him behind?
Behind that one there. The green one. They drove in ages ago and it's been dark ever since.
You think they're still in there?
Well, I haven't taken my eyes off it. And no one's gone in or out.
Think these are really necessary? I mean, it's not like they're expecting us.
Don't underestimate these blokes. They're not messing about.
Hey, we're just gonna sneak in and we sneak out. Just like that.
Yeah, fair enough. But any trouble, you shoot first and ask questions later, all right?
Alright, so just like in the last game, you know, it does have, I think it has the same, exactly the same stealth mechanics. If they are different, it doesn't seem to be by much. And just like in the second game, there's quite a few sections that are technically possible to stealth your way through. I did manage it a couple times.
Quiet.
But then there's other sections, or yeah, there's sections that are technically possible to stealth through, but not really. And then there's other ones that
Waste time standing here.
play you, right? It's like, oh, you can stealth this section, right? No. And then it's just like, no, you can't. Oh, there we go. So if we get to the green door, he's like, I'll find another way in so that, you know, we don't alert them. Which, I'm sorry if I pass by any, like, optional dialogue by knowing where I'm going. But like I said, I can't play PlayStation games blind because I don't have a way of listening to them while I record. Which is the only reason why I didn't do this one blind. Because, like I said, I can't. If I do it blind, I don't get to hear any of the dialogue or anything. So you know what? Knowing where I'm going is pretty much the only way I can do it. Because if there's like audio cues in that, I won't get them. As for like the achievements in this one, it's not bad. They have like very similar like kill this many people with this gun achievements in that. You know, find all the treasures. I think I said that wrong. Treasures and shit like that. Which aren't bad. I mean, the treasures in this game, I will say, in number 1, I think I missed 1 on my first playthrough as I went through. Then in 2, I think there was 2 or 3 that I had to go back and collect. This one here, I didn't miss any on my playthrough. You know, I did use guides for all of them. So, like, it just, like, I don't know if just, like, the guy, whoever wrote the guide for the third one was different and explained the positions better. Or if they're just easier to explain in this one, but...
Nate, we are losing time here. That damn briefcase is looking better and better.
All right, come on. They didn't just vanish into thin air, right? There's got to be an explanation. Just spread out, look around.
So, it's not just me, right? That Chloe looks significantly worse
Tire tracks.
than she did in 2.
Still wet from the rain.
Like she didn't get as much
Looks like the
of an
car's in here.
as much of an upgrade, HD upgrade than before. Like that isn't just me, right? You know, Nate, I think looks fine. So like she doesn't look bad, but just compared to 2, she looks horrible to me, and I don't know why. It especially drove, like when I first started playing this, that's what I thought, and then like when I went back to 2 in like my videos,
Sully.
it just like threw it in my face. Like, yeah, she looks much better in this game.
All right, everybody, on 3. Ready? 1.
Ready? Jump. Nothing.
Well, this has got to be it.
Oh yeah, if we use look mode.
Wait, it's the light.
See, now I don't understand this. Like,
Aim your beam at the wall.
you shine lights at... Well, okay, I understand this a lot better than I do in, like, the ancient civilization shit. It's like this, you know, we have light detecting shit now. So, I mean, that makes sense to me.
Nate, just who are we dealing with here?
There's only one way to find out. We'll track the car. You head back to the van.
We'll try and stay in radio contact. I'll let you know when we get through to the other side, all right?
Wherever the hell that is.
Just be ready for anything. Might be a quick exit.
No doubt.
She's the best driver in the business, you know.
So I've heard.
Well, I think we agree this
So we do have our gun now, which is a silenced one. They do have silenced weapons in here, but I think this pistol's the only one that there is, and you only get it in 2
Looks like they bored
sections
straight into the old
of the
service
game.
tunnels.
It doesn't work the best, I will say. I mean, and by that I mean it does. It works as a silenced weapon. Like if you manage to headshot someone, obviously it'll kill them because it's Uncharted, and we're playing on normal. Which, by the way, if it all of a sudden gets easier halfway through the game, it's because I lowered the difficulty to easy. And you know what? It wouldn't surprise me if I had to do that, because once again, I played it on easy to get like the 75 whatever. Still pretty difficult game.
All right, back there.
Because the combat is really that bad.
on the old tight spaces, that's all.
Just keep moving.
Let's see, do I have...
Who the hell is McDuff?
I got... Oh, here you go. Half cover. So in this game here, the game-breaking thing that they have is if you aim somewhere while you're in half cover, right? You tap forward and hit circle. Oh, whoops. Okay, so what it is you get into half cover so that he's crouched like that. You aim. You hit forward circle and let go of aim, and he does that. And he zips forward. It is not as useful as you would think. Oh.
I see them.
Yeah, see, now they're showing me how to aim and shoot. Wow, already that much damage.
Thanks.
Jesus fucking Christ. So yeah, you can already pick up a new gun, which is fucking pointless. God, I am taking a... Well, granted, I don't actually know how much damage I'm taking. I mean, my screen's going red. That doesn't really tell me a whole lot. Because pretty much you have your screen gets fucked up based on
We're still on the right.
where the enemy is when they shoot you. And then it goes down to black and white, and then you're dead. So yeah, that zippy doodah there that you can do,
Long way down.
not extremely useful, I imagine, on Brutal. Because I've only used it once to do anything.
Slippery.
And it was just to... And it doesn't skip fights. Like most, like the game-breaking stuff that you do... yeah, this part here. It generally involves you skipping trigger points, right, for speedrun strategies, so that there's no enemies in front of you. There is an entire chapter that you can skip, kind of.
Ready when you are.
Okay, Sully, you were supposed to get him at the same time. And by kind of, I mean, like, when the nice thing about it, right, about the one skip that I know, is in these games for like the speedrun trophy, when you get the into the continuous speedrun, to get the 4.5 or 4 hours 50 minutes, whatever, to get the trophy during the speedrun, you have to register a time. Motherfucker, if my capture hadn't failed, and I didn't realize it until I was almost done recording. It failed. I think we're what, 40 minutes in, I think, or at least the recording was 45 minutes, I think, when I checked it. It wasn't until I was at like 55 minutes or so. It took me like 10 minutes to realize that the fucking capture had frozen. Although I will say, I'm really glad that I can see it freeze, right? Like, if I'm playing on my computer and it freezes, I would have no idea because I use Fraps to record, so I couldn't tell you if something gets fucked up until after I'm done. And even then, I wouldn't probably notice until I went to edit it. I mean, I might notice if, the file is like very fucking small in comparison to what it normally is. But I mean, even then, right? So the shitty part about it is we're in chapter 4 right now. And the capture failed, as you saw right there. And I think at the end of this tunnel here, so like 2 minutes later is chapter 5. So like if it had waited to freeze, like if it, yeah, right there, chapter 5. So literally if it had waited to freeze 2 minutes, I could have restarted or chapter selected to 5. I had to chapter select to 4 and play through the entire chapter again.
Maybe we can get through here.
Oh, no way we're moving that.
I don't think so.
Wait. There's a counterweight up there. Looks like it's stuck.
One of us should climb up there and see if they can dislodge it.
Good idea. Guess who?
Crap.
So this part here, as I've already explained once, you see like all these little nubs, like the rivets or whatever, the bolts or whatever you want to call them all the way up and down here. The fact that when it ends, they're like, hey, you got to climb up there. And then they point you at them. It's like, oh, so I can climb those? No. There's a ladder in behind that these two fucking will not get it from in front of. It's ridiculous. Now I'm trying to think because I don't remember what... Oh, never mind. I do remember. I was talking about how they had the supernatural enemies in this game. Because like in the other the other two Uncharted, I haven't played 4, so... there's always the supernatural enemies at the end of the game, right? Like you'd make it almost to the end and then it's like, hey, here's some supernatural enemies. And then they were there for the rest of the game. This one here, you get close to the end of the game, they introduce them, they're there for a chapter, and then they're gone. And it makes sense when you get there. More sense than I'm making now. Because, like, I was really surprised. I really expect them to show up again later. But then after they explained why those supernatural enemies were there, it was like, all right, I understand. We're not going to see them again. Probably. Well, I still expected to see them again. But, especially after the one part. But I mean, like, we'll get to that once we actually make it to the supernatural enemies. That's more of a later thing. So this part here, right? You can actually fuck it up, kind of. I mean, half fuck it up. Not by falling off repeatedly. In fact, when I just finished recording this, I didn't fall off of these at all. He landed perfectly beautifully. This game here, not the best for being stuck to these things. But, like, those two guys there, right? You can aim and shoot at them before you make it to this ledge. I think if you're hanging off or if you're still on the... Well, you might have to be hanging off. Maybe when you're on the beams you can still do it. But you can aim and shoot at them. And if you do that, then Charlie or Sully there, one of the two, fucking yells at you for it. It's like, are you fucking stupid or something? Like, what are you doing? But yeah. So I will say that the supernatural enemies in this game... Okay, so in the first game, the supernatural enemies were, kind of weak. I will say that. They were kind of weak. It probably helped that as soon as supernatural enemies came, they, like, drowned you in ammo. So it was like, eh. you can just unload in them. But even so, and the fact that they charged you with their head down, you know, it's like chances are if you're hitting them in their head, so you're gonna kill them. Then you skip ahead to number 2, and the supernatural enemies were absolute bullshit, purely based on their health. Like, sure, they did a lot of damage and they had range, which the first ones didn't. That's fine. So right there, by the way, is where I realized that the capture had failed. Which is fine. They have range, whatever. They have bombs. They're more or less just upgraded enemies, right? That would be fine. But they upgraded their health too much. Like, in comparison to everything else, because, like, their crossbows did so much damage, their explosions, it just was too much, right? Like, they just upped all the bars on them. And it was fucking ridiculous. Or actually, you know what? It was, like, right here that I realized. Yeah, it was just up here that I realized that the capture had failed. And then you skip ahead to this game, and now the enemies are only in 1 chapter, which is fine, because if there were more, it's fucking, oh my god, would there have been some rage quitting going on in my house. But they take more damage, they do the same amount of damage as anything else, because they still use guns, but they have grenades that instantly explode, you can't throw back. They take a shit ton of damage, and there's so many of them.
I'm not interested in your excuses. He was a loose cannon, and you should have known.
Yes, it is regrettable, but...
Not regrettable, sloppy. Your poor judgment could have cost us everything. 400 years of searching. Finally, Drake's secret will be revealed. What is this?
I don't understand.
It's a forgery.
What? That's not possible. I verified it myself. This isn't the ring.
Really?
I held it in my hands. I saw him put it around his neck. This doesn't make sense.
We've been duped.
Cutter.
Uh-huh. You men stand guard and stay alert. We may have been followed. You, come with us. Find them and bring me that ring. I don't care how you get it.
You know, I have to admit that it sucks when you have like a circle thing that just doesn't quite fit, because exactly of what she did there, where it just like rolls around in the groove but doesn't go in. But also saying that, why couldn't... Oh yeah, so this one here, there's not like a button to hit. You just drop on the enemy and he automatically takes him down. But I mean, what exactly was stopping them from just creating a ring the right size to go in there? Like, I get that, you know, if they had the original, they'd be good to go. But on the other hand, why bother? So I'm going to end it here, which makes my second recording less than 10 minutes. But I am going to end it here because shit's about to go down after we do this next part. Also, apparently there was a trophy for this crocodile in behind my head there to get up there and jump on it. Not in the extended, or in the Nathan Drake collection. Not in this one. Still did it because I was reading comments and it's like, oh, there's a trophy for that. So I went and did it. Not a trophy in this one. But shit's about to go down, so I'll leave it here. Thank you everybody for watching. This has been the beginning of Uncharted 3. And I will see you next time.